This is WCPO 9 News at Noon.
Thanks for joining us here. I'm Adrian Whitsett, and we have breaking news at noon. The Cincinnati Bengals and Hamilton County accuse each other of violating the lease for Paycor Stadium. It raises the question of the Bengals' future in Cincinnati with the stadium lease set to expire next year.
Things look a lot more active.
You heard it here first. WTWO tracked this winter storm throughout the valley, keeping you up to date on all the latest travel warnings. WTWO, your local weather authority.
Straight ahead on News 15 at 10, Acadiana braces for freezing weather and a potential snow and ice storm to start out next week. A look at the schools that are already closing in anticipation of the wintry mess, plus efforts to protect infrastructure from the freezing temps.
And we're tracking a few scattered showers this evening, but it is going to get frigid cold next week, and that doesn't even include the ice and snow chances across the region.
Plus, the latest in Acadiana water woes impacting the town of Grand Coteau. What's to blame and when the water will be turned back on.
And Acadiana reacting tonight as the U.S. Supreme Court upholds a ban on TikTok with the app set to go dark on Sunday.
Also tonight, St. Martin Parish celebrating culture and history in a very big way. We'll show you more as the News on 15 starts right now.
You're watching News 15 at 10. Honored as the state's best newscast by the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters.
We begin with a Storm Track 15 alert. Acadiana is bracing for freezing weather along with ice and snow. We could be faced with a similar situation to what you're looking at here from 1 year ago at this time. Already folks are planning for this Arctic blast to disrupt travel, work, and school. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jim Hummel.
And I'm Marcel Fontenot. School closures already announced for next week.
Coming up on the Weekend Morning Report, investigators are trying to figure out what sparked a fire that killed a man in York County. Plus,
and we'll make the most of it no matter what it is.
Mainers in Washington, D.C. for Monday's presidential inauguration say a change because of the weather won't ruin their plans to see Donald Trump take office. And Americans let a photographer from Maine enter their private lives for a pretty unique project she put together. We'll check out the American bedroom.
Some snow and some rain are about to join the forecast. This is the Weekend Morning Report.
Good morning, I'm Leanne Stapleton. It's Saturday, January 18th. Those stories and more are just ahead on the Weekend Morning Report. But before that, let's get a first check on the weather with Aaron Myler. Good morning.
Good morning, Leanne. How are we doing so far?
From Idaho's News Channel 7, this is the Saturday Morning News.
Welcome to the Saturday Morning News. I'm Brenda Rodriguez, and jumping right in, it is a first alert weather day. Let's go and check in with Audrielle this morning. Happy Saturday, Audrielle. It is really cold outside today.
NBC 10 News starts now.
We are counting down to kickoff, a little less than 16 hours. All is quiet right now outside of the link, but soon enough, the tailgates will start. The doors will open and fans will pack into the link to watch the Eagles host the Rams. Hey, thank you so much for joining us tonight at 11. I'm Frances Wang. The divisional round matchup will be right here on NBC 10, and weather is going to be a major factor both on the field and on the streets in our area. Those road conditions will be wet during the tailgate hours, slushy once fans are inside the link to cheer on the Birds, and then icy when it's time to hit the roads to go home. NBC 10's Brian Sheehan is in South Philly showing us how some fans are getting hyped to watch all of the action tomorrow. We'll check in with him in just a few minutes.
A toxic tide affecting thousands of people.
The air is not safe.
NBC 7 and Telemundo 20 have been covering the crisis for years.
We're taking you beyond the story.
Hearing your concerns.
We're treated as second-class citizens.
Breaking down the problem.
No community should ever have to be breathing this.
The fight for action in San Diego and on Capitol Hill, covering the issue across two borders. Continuing coverage of the Tijuana River sewage crisis on NBC 7 and Telemundo 20.
KIMT News 3 at 6 Saturday. Your local news with KIMT News 3's Sananda McCall. Tracking storms with Storm Team 3 meteorologist Travis Clark-Smith. This is KIMT News 3. More local news that is happening right now. We are coverage you can count on.
Coming up on KIMT News 3, a close call on the tracks. A driver takes a wrong turn, putting lives at risk. How authorities prevent a disaster and the details of what happened next.
As temperatures have dropped through the day, brisk northwest winds have ushered in that Arctic air and the dangerous wind chills with it. What you need to know coming up.
Plus, a record-breaking year for health coverage in Minnesota. MNsure hits new highs as thousands rush to enroll. What you need to know about the next steps for getting covered. KIMT News 3 at 10 Saturday starts right now.
KIMT News 3. Coverage you can count on. This is KIMT News 3 at 10 Saturday.
Good evening and thank you so much for joining us for KIMT News 3 at 10. I'm Sananda McCall. Let's go ahead and check in with Storm Team 3 meteorologist Travis Clark-Smith on this extremely cold day. And is this even the worst of it this weekend?
No, Sananda. It's going to get even colder as we go through the overnight tonight. And then we'll be sticking around at least through the first part of the new week. When can we expect to climb out of this freezer? Details in your full Storm Team 3 forecast up next.
KIMT News 3 at 10 Saturday. Your local news with KIMT News 3's Sananda McCall. Tracking storms with Storm Team 3 meteorologist Travis Clark-Smith. This is KIMT News 3. More local news that is happening right now. We are coverage you can count on.
Happening right now at 10. Temperatures are dropping once again, getting to dangerously cold levels by tomorrow and really for much of next week. I'll detail the coldest temperatures of the winter so far.
Plus, a group of former firefighters are helping those in California by brewing up support in person as they continue to battle the fires. The local efforts across the country. And the fate of TikTok is down to the wire. What's in store as a U.S. ban is set to take effect at midnight, and how President-elect Donald Trump is weighing in.
From 13 WREX, your weather authority. This is 13 News at 10.
Thanks so much for joining us tonight at 13 News at 10. We begin with a live look outside Rockford tonight, and it is a cold one out there, but we better get used to it because trust me, we're not going to be reaching freezing anytime soon. Your weather authority meteorologist John Jurgens is with us tonight. And John, it is cold out there, but it's a little bit better than that S word. How much longer are we going to be feeling the chill?
Live news celebrating the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in the hours leading up to his federal holiday. We'll have a look into one ceremony in particular. Plus, as concerns grow about the bird flu, the Fort Wayne Zoo is taking precautions. We'll talk with them about what they're doing to keep the animals safe. And then all eyes turn to Washington as President-elect Trump is preparing for Inauguration Day, and Ohio politics is shuffling around its leadership as well. Who's taking over for the Buckeye State's incoming Vice President-elect? That and more as Fox 55 News starts now.
The area's only primetime local newscast. This is Fox 55 News, first at 10.
Good evening, I'm Drew Fry, and thanks for joining us. We start with a look into our local weather. We've got sub-zero wind chills already in the region, and it's looking like this could be just the beginning. So let's hear from meteorologist David Tillmans now. He's got a look at how we're ending our weekend. David.
Well, Drew, we are still watching the chance for one or two isolated.
You have to be outside, bundle up, stay warm, please.
Exactly, that's Absolutely. The key. All right, thanks, David. And now as we wrap up here on this weekend, we're just going to take you through a lot of changes happening here. I, for one, leaving the kind of weekend crew behind, moving into more of a sports role. I know all of us kind of going through transitions. Maggie, going to send it over to you for yours.
Yes, of course. Well, today is sadly my last day here at Fox 55, but what a journey it's been. I've enjoyed my time here in Fort Wayne, another stop on my broadcasting journey, and to meet you guys and all the connections I've made here at the staff has been really great. And you, the viewers at home, thank you for trusting me and telling your local area sports from the players and coaches, trusting me with your stories. Thank you so much.
Well, it's been a joy to work with you.
Glad to have you on the weekend crew.
Thank you, guys.
All right, that's going to do it for us tonight. We'll be back here tomorrow. See you then.
coverage you can count on. This is the Wabash Valley's most watched newscast with Madison Zaleski, Storm Team 10's Aaron Peters, and Marty Ledbetter's Sports. This is News 10 Night Watch.
Good evening and thanks for joining us for News 10 Night Watch. I'm Madison Zaleski. President-elect Donald Trump will take the oath of office in the Capitol Rotunda tomorrow during his inauguration.
And now I'm going to toss things over to Madison.
Yeah, well, thank you, Aaron. Well, I just want to make a quick announcement on, tomorrow will be my last day here with WTHI. In just a few short weeks, I will be starting a new chapter in my news career in Fort Myers, Florida. Now, as I reflect on the last 2+ years, I'm filled with gratitude, and this journey has been truly incredible. And I just wanted to say I've been fortunate to work alongside some of the most talented and dedicated colleagues. I've also had the privilege of serving this amazing community of viewers. I never imagined I'd have the opportunity to be a weekend anchor, reporter, and weather forecaster. So again, I can't thank you guys enough. And as I say goodbye, I want to express my deepest appreciation for you all. And thank you so much again, and I will miss you all, and I'll miss working with you, AP.
Congrats, Madison.
Thank you. Well, that's all the time we have, but thank you for joining us for News 10 Night Watch. Have a great night.
For the most local news, every newscast, every day, you can depend on News 10. Coverage you can count on.
On News 18, the city of Frankfort is investigating 3 deaths and an injury to animals at a zoo. Also, investigations are underway into a deadly single-vehicle car crash in Lafayette on Friday evening.
We have bitter cold temperatures coming our way. In fact, downright dangerous cold air. We'll talk more about that when I come back.
News 18 Weekend Report starts now. WLFI Lafayette. News from where you live.
Good evening, I'm Ella Chu, and thanks for joining us. The driver involved in a single vehicle car crash on Friday has died.
7 News on your side at 4:30 a.m.
Right now on 7 News, it is Inauguration Day. A live look here at the Capitol, where President-elect Donald Trump will be sworn in as the 47th President of the United States at noon. We're on your side. We've got coverage all day long. Plus, one regional team has advanced to the playoffs, but another team's season is over. Coming up, what is next for the Commanders and the Ravens? And bundle up before you head out the door. 7 News on your side is tracking bitterly cold temperatures and keeping an eye on the roads, which could be slippery after Sunday's snowfall.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States. The office of President of the United States.
Sworn in the Capitol Rotunda.
So now the work begins. We won, but now the work begins.
Celebrated at Capital One Arena.
So this is January 6th. These are the hostages. Approximately 1,500 for a pardon.
And settled in, signing orders in the Oval Office.
Tonight, President Donald Trump is back in the White House for his second term. As we look live there, he spent a big part of his evening signing a slew of executive orders.
2 will have big impacts for people living and working in the DMV. So thanks for staying up with us on this Inauguration Day. I'm Leslie Foster.
And I'm Lorenzo Hall. It has been a busy day around Washington. And tonight we're talking about how today will impact tomorrow. Let's start with those January 6th pardons you just heard the president mention.
Our Leslie Moreno has spent the last several hours outside the D.C. jail. Sounds like there's a lot of activity out there, Leslie. What's happening?
A new era for the nation tonight as President Donald Trump takes the oath of office for a second time.
The golden age of America begins right now.
We're taking you inside the inauguration and examining the executive action President Trump has taken just hours into his second term. Plus, President Trump has promised some big changes to federal positions across the country.
And if the president says, I want you to focus on this,
and you want to keep your job and you like what you're doing, you're going to focus on what his agenda is.
What that could mean for Maryland U.S. Attorney Eric Barron. Project Baltimore is examining the record for the judge overseeing Baltimore City's juvenile court division. Why critics say he's putting public safety at risk. Dangerously cold air has some schools starting late tomorrow. Chief Meteorologist Gerard Jabali is tracking the frigid temperatures.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 News at 10.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States. The office of President of the United States.
History in Washington, D.C. tonight as President Donald Trump has taken the oath of office and has now moved into the White House for his second term.
CBS 6 News at 11 starts now.
Today I will sign a series of historic executive orders. With these actions, we will begin the complete restoration of America and the revolution of common sense.
President Donald Trump officially took the oath of office at 12:01 today. We'll have a look at the ceremony and how he wasted no time detailing his executive actions. Thanks for joining us here at 11. I'm Julie Bragg.
And I'm Janine Samuels. We'll get to that story in just a moment, but first...
Well, the coldest air of the season has invaded the area and is leading to, again, that dangerously cold setup in terms of our temperatures in the single digits and the possibility for snow.
And with that cold weather, local power suppliers are prepared to make sure your lights stay on. And kicking off MLK Day, community members gathered for a prayer breakfast to remember his life and legacy and to bring our community together. And a Mississippi company is using the day to remember Martin Luther King Jr. as they serve the Queen City.
From downtown Meridian, this is WTOK News 11 at 6. Live and local.
Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Ross McLeod, and with the weather alert day just around the corner,
coverage you can count on. This is Way 31 News Mornings.
The cold continues across the Tennessee Valley. Tomorrow morning, even colder than this morning. I'll have those details for you coming up.
Plus, President Trump's busy first day in office, some of the big decisions he has already made.
Details on the new Alabama Supreme Court order allowing nursing moms to miss jury duty.
And later, the newest member joining Crises Girls Club. We are so glad to have you with us on this Tuesday, January 21st. I'm Chris Taylor.
And I'm Demetria Green. Thank you all for joining us. Let's go ahead and get a check of that forecast because I know that's what you all are all talking about because so many places, like especially to our south, extreme cold, horrible temperatures right now.
Yeah, to our south, they're actually going to see snow today. So.
And good morning and welcome to 7 News Sunrise on this Tuesday, January 21st, a snowy Tuesday, 4:30 now, and it's a special edition of 7 News this morning. Snow is falling here in Southwest Louisiana, and it could break modern records. Let's go to meteorologist Joseph Ink this morning. Joseph?
Oh, that's right, John. Let me come over to you over here. Well, I was busy looking at the radar because we've been seeing quite a lot of snow just begin to fall for some areas, especially if you're a little bit further north of I-10. You're just starting to see some of that heavier activity pick up. Let's kick it off with the sky cams. Jennings is seeing a little bit of downtown, definitely a little bit of powderiness.
WBTM 13 News at midday. Cold weather team coverage from how the freezing temperatures are impacting those down in Mobile and here at home. We've got you covered this midday.
Down there, they're not equipped as well as we are to handle weather like this.
And we're not alone feeling the cold today. Bitter temperatures are also hitting our neighbors to the north. The dangerous wind chill they're seeing just ahead.
Waking up at the White House, I'm Jackie DeFusco with what's next after President Donald Trump's return to Washington.
Live, local, late breaking. WVTM 13 News at 11 starts now.
Well, thanks so much for joining us here on WVTM 13 News at midday. I'm Sarah Killian. The big question on a lot of minds, is this cold going to result in some snow? Let's go ahead and check in with meteorologist Taylor Sorello. I know that's not a look here, Taylor, but wherever that is, they're getting a lot of snow.
Yeah, this is a spot that's already seen quite a bit of snow, much more to come. This is the view of I-10 in New Orleans. Believe it or not, this
Live, local, now. WSFA 12 News starts with First Alert Weather.
Welcome to Alabama Live. Today is a first alert weather day due to snow and bitterly cold temps in our area.
Lots of folks already seeing the white stuff fall. A lot of exciting people, not just here in the newsroom, but all over this state. Let's get you a live look outside right now where the snow is falling over the square at Troy University.
From WAKA Channel 8, this is Action 8 News. Now, Ellis Eskew.
Earth cam where heavy snow is blanketing the area. As you can see, snow is continuing to fall in the Big Easy. And we are seeing our own winter weather here in central and south Alabama. Let's get a first check of our forecast now with Weather Authority meteorologist Christopher Mathis.
Ellis, it seems like Greenville has been the big bullseye for snow so far today.
From San Antonio's own KENS 5, this is the News at Noon.
Now at noon, San Antonio waking up to snow and icy roads and a scary morning drive. This video shows what it was like on Fredericksburg Road on the northwest side at 5 a.m. Rain coupled with freezing temperatures overnight, turning roads slick as drivers try to navigate all that black ice.
Now at midday, snow across southeast Texas. This video was taken in a Beaumont neighborhood, and you can see the aftermath of hours of snowfall. Definitely an unusual sight in this part of the country. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us on 12 News at midday on this snowy Tuesday. I'm Tia Johnson.
And I'm Mark Armstrong, and we have live team coverage tracking the winter storm coverage for you all day long. We've got Cameron Burchett. She is monitoring the conditions on the roads. We've got Clay Rhodes. She's live in Orange with the latest conditions.
Meteorologist Jeremiah Stewart is reporting live from Beaumont. But first, let's turn now to meteorologist Jeff Gerber with the latest on the forecast. Jeff, is it still snowing out there?
Yeah, it's still snowing, but it's starting to wind down.
Live, local, late breaking. This is News 10 First at 5.
Good afternoon and welcome. I'm Susan Dinkel. It's Tuesday, January 21st. President Donald Trump is spending his first...
Well, it's been a bitterly cold day across the Wabash Valley, and it's going to be another cold night. A warm-up is in sight, though. I'll have details coming up.
Live, local, late breaking. This is News 10 at 6.
Good evening to you, and thank you for joining us. I'm Ron Jarrell Moore. President Donald Trump is spending his first full day in office tackling a variety of issues.
Coming up.
Live, local, late breaking. This is News 10 First at 10.
Good evening to you, and thank you for joining us. After Monday's inaugural pomp and pageantry, President Donald Trump hosted Republican congressional leaders at the White House today.
Live, local, late breaking. This is News 10 Night Watch.
Good evening to you, and thank you for joining us. After Monday's inaugural pomp and pageantry,
Coming up, President Trump signs a string of executive orders and issues pardons. We'll take a closer look at his swift actions. And at 5, what Frankfurt's mayor is saying about the mysterious deaths of animals at a city zoo.
Well, we had dustings to up to 1 inch of snow last night and early this morning. Now it is just dangerously cold, and that cold's going to stick around. And local forecast next.
Live, local, late breaking. This is Indiana News Now, First at 5.
Good evening. I'm Stacy Schooler. Thanks for joining us. Well, if you go outside today, you definitely can't stay out long. It is freezing cold. Our chief meteorologist, Chad Evans, has been tracking those cold temps and joins us now for a first look at the forecast. Hey, Chad.
Yeah, cold advisory is still up. We'll talk about when it'll finally warm up. Next.
Live, local, late breaking. This is News 18 at 6.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Stacy Schooler, and thanks for joining us. Well, if you go outside today, you definitely can't stay out long. It is free.
Live, local, late breaking. This is Fox 55 News First at 5.
Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us here on this Tuesday. Some of those newly signed policies.
Live, local, late breaking. This is Fox 55 News at 6.
Good Tuesday evening to you, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us here at 6. I'm Brian Miller.
Plus,
Now, it is
I'm also tracking a little lights now.
And new life for a long-time abandoned property. The city is now moving forward with the tree line project. We've got new details tonight following a public meeting to hear what people want to see here. And then, keeping up with history, we'll take a sneak peek at some of our nation's unsung heroes, how they're being honored in a newly opened display. And if it's too cold for us to be outside, you can bet your pets they want to get out of the elements too. What the experts recommend for days like this.
Live, local, late breaking. This is Fox 55 News First at 10.
A good Tuesday evening to you, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here at 10. I'm Brian Miller. We're going to start off tonight with what everybody is talking about, the cold. Here's Chief Meteorologist Beverly Perry standing by in the Weather Center tonight. And Beverly, we have those dangerous wind chills once again, don't we?
Absolutely.
Now, from the Low Country's news leader, this is Live 5 News.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We are continuing to track that falling sleet and snow as we head through the evening now that our temperatures have dropped into the 20s.
Yeah, it's not too often that we see this kind of snowfall here in the Low Country. In fact, we joke about every 8 years.
Yeah.
We hit 7 this time around. A reason we want to make sure that you are prepared and safe if you have to leave the house at all tonight or tomorrow morning.
Today is a First Alert Weather Day. WMBF News starts right now.
We do begin tonight with a live look next to us in Myrtle Beach, where a 1,000-day spell without snowfall has now come to a close.
It's happening, and it's part of a system we've been warning you about for more than a week now.
Live, local, late breaking. This is News 10 this morning.
You and TV 10, you're looking good.
Now, from the news center, the Wabash Valley's leading news team, News Center 10. WTHI TV, Terre Haute. Now, from News Center 10 and the Wabash Valley's leading news team, TV 10 News.